I'm here today to describe what I've come to believe is the most important change in our understanding of the human brain in 400 years. This idea is revolutionary because for 4 centuries, mainstream medicine and science have seen the brain as fixed and described it as though it were a complex machine with parts, each of which perform one mental function in a single location in the brain. This machine metaphor gave rise to what I've called the doctrine of the unchanging brain. A sense that treatment for many brain conditions was impossible or unwarranted took hold, and it spread through the culture, even stunting our overall view of human nature. But what if the idea of the brain as machine or mechanism is not only wrong, but spectacularly wrong? When I first heard reports that the human brain might not be hardwired, I had to investigate and began a series of travels, and in the process met a band of brilliant scientists at the frontiers of brain science who'd made a series of unexpected discoveries. These scientific heretics began to call this new brain property neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity changes everything. The brain is not a machine. It has to be understood on its own terms. And this is the remarkable story of the brain that changes itself. I went to Madison, Wisconsin to meet with Mitch Tyler and Yuri Danilov, 2 people who had worked with Paul Bach-y-Rita, perhaps the most important pioneer of his generation, the great visionary of neuroplasticity, who, after some very personal experiences with the death of his father, figured out that the human brain is plastic, and then began to invent all these extraordinarily ingenious devices to help people rewire their brains.
Given that Paul was a visual neuroscientist, and that's where his training was, he was looking for a way to demonstrate this idea of this neuroplasticity, or the brain's ability to rehabilitate itself. And the logical extension of that would have been in the blind population developing a blind prosthesis, if you will, or a sensory substitution device.
Okay, Bill, let's try something a little different now. Okay, it's a telephone, and the receiver is to the right.
In sensory substitution, he claimed that brain is flexible, plastic, and smart enough to analyze any information that you can deliver accurately to the brain.
Where you could actually take signals from a video camera and presenting this stimulus on the back of a patient who was blind, and have them be able to pick up that information as though it was coming from their retina, and treat that information the same way. It's vision. It doesn't matter where the signal is coming from.
How a sensation entered the brain was not important to Bach-y-Rita. What was important was what the brain did with that sensation.
The source of the signal is really almost immaterial. As long as you provide that signal to the brain and give it a context that it's being used in, the brain will figure out how to use it and use it to its own ends, to both rehabilitate and also to perform the task it's trying to accomplish.